The heart monitor flatlined. Not completely. Just enough to scare everyone in the room. James froze in the doorway of the hospital room. Jacket still on, coffee untouched in his hand. He wasn't supposed to be here yet. He came early. Something told him to. His mother lay pale on the bed. Too pale. And standing beside her was his wife. Calm, smiling, holding the IV line like it belonged to her. "What did you give her?" James asked. His wife turned slowly, startled, then annoyed. "Oh," she said. "You're early." That's when the nurse rushed in. That's when the alarm screamed louder. And that's when James realized this wasn't an accident. Don't look away. Keep watching. Because what he uncovered next destroyed a family and saved a life. James Reinhardt had always been a careful man, a devoted son, a meticulous husband. He worked long hours as a corporate analyst, but family came first, or so he believed. His mother, Margaret Reinhardt, was frail, recovering from a recent stroke. Every morning, James checked her medication, double-checked the doctor's orders, and made sure she was cared for. His wife, Victoria, had been with him for 5 years. Elegant, charming, and confident. Friends adored her. Family tolerated her. Yet, behind the polished smile, James had sometimes noticed small cracks, a dismissive glance at his mother, a subtle impatience, moments that felt off. The hospital room smelled faintly of antiseptic and coffee. The hum of machines filled the air. Margaret lay in her hospital bed, fragile, while Victoria hovered. The imbalance was clear. Power. Control. James's intuition screamed that something was very wrong. He had hidden strength, an analytical mind honed by years of corporate strategy. And today, it would be tested. James returned to the hospital earlier than expected. The corridors were quiet, the fluorescent lights casting long shadows. He expected calm. What he found was tension. Victoria was at his mother's bedside, adjusting the IV lines with a distracted hand. Margaret stirred, confused. James noticed the small details. The wrong dosage chart tucked under the clipboard, a medication bottle slightly ajar, a nurse's uneasy glance. He approached quietly. "Mom, how are you feeling?" Margaret smiled weakly. "I'm fine, dear. Victoria's helping." But James's instincts screamed otherwise. He noticed the pills Victoria had set aside. Some were meant for later. Some were duplicates, and one could trigger serious complications. "Victoria, what are you doing?" he asked calmly, trying not to alarm the staff. Victoria's face tightened. "I'm just making sure she's comfortable. You worry too much." A nurse whispered to James, her eyes wide. She tried adjusting the dosage herself earlier. I stopped her. James's pulse quickened. He began discreetly recording the conversation on his phone, capturing every word, every hesitation. Each small piece of evidence painted a disturbing picture. Victoria wasn't just careless. She was putting Margaret in danger. Margaret coughed softly. I don't know what's going on." James knelt beside his mother, his mind racing. He needed to act, but carefully. One wrong move, and Victoria could manipulate the staff, twist the story, and escape accountability. The stakes were clear. Protect his mother, gather proof, and confront the threat head-on. There would be no turning back. James's hands trembled as he held the phone, recording every detail. Victoria glanced up, suspicion flickering in her eyes. She didn't know he had the evidence yet, but James could feel the moment of reckoning approaching. "Victoria, I need to see the medication logs for the past week," James said, his voice steady but firm. Her face paled. "Logs? Everything is fine. No, it's not," James interrupted. "I've been reviewing what you've been giving Mom. These dosages, these schedules, they don't match the prescriptions. One of these could have seriously harmed her." The room went silent. The nurses shifted uneasily, glancing between James and Victoria. Margaret's frail hands gripped the bed rails, eyes wide with fear and confusion. Victoria's composure cracked. I was just trying to help." "Help?" James's voice rose, controlled but cutting. "You endangered her. Every step you took could have been fatal. You weren't helping. This was deliberate." He played the recording from his phone. Victoria's own words filled the room. Every hesitation, every admission, every dangerous instruction she'd given Margaret. The nurses gasped, some whispering in shock. Victoria froze, her mask of control shattering. She stumbled back, unable to meet anyone's eyes. Margaret trembled, leaning heavily on James. I didn't mean," Victoria stammered. "No more excuses," James said, his jaw tight. "The hospital will review this, and you'll answer for every risk you imposed." The head nurse stepped forward, taking Victoria aside. Staff members quickly secured the medication, double-checking every detail. James stayed by his mother's side, holding her hand as she looked at him with tearful gratitude. Margaret whispered, voice trembling, "I didn't understand. I thought she was helping me." James hugged her tightly. "You're safe now, Mom. I won't let anyone harm you again." Victoria's influence was gone, her deception fully exposed. The quiet hospital room had transformed into a place of justice and revelation. Margaret was protected. James had acted in time. The tension broke, replaced by relief, though the memory of danger lingered. One woman's greed had almost caused irreparable harm, but courage, vigilance, and evidence had won the day. The hospital staff rallied around Margaret, ensuring she received proper care. Nurses double-checked medications, doctors reviewed every chart, and James coordinated with the administration to guarantee no further mistakes or manipulations could occur. Margaret's frail smile returned slowly, her eyes glistening with tears. "Thank you, my brave son," she whispered, gripping his hand tightly. "You saved me." James shook his head, emotion choking his words. "I only did what had to be done. Mom, no one should ever be in danger because of someone else's selfishness." Word of the incident reached the hospital board and quickly spread through the local community. Victoria faced suspension, investigation, and eventual criminal charges. Her deceit and endangerment could not be ignored. She had been exposed by a son who refused to be blind to injustice. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers expressed gratitude to James, sharing stories of vigilance and courage. The hospital implemented stricter protocols, inspired by the near-tragic incident, ensuring patient safety became the top priority. Margaret, once fearful and vulnerable, found a renewed sense of dignity. She could trust again, confident her family would protect her. James realized that standing up for loved ones required vigilance, courage, and the willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. As they left the hospital together, James and Margaret held hands, walking slowly into the sunlight. The world outside was still uncertain, but for the first time in days, their hearts felt light. Justice had been served, not through vengeance, but through careful observation, bravery, and unwavering love. Margaret looked at her son, tears of relief streaming down her cheeks. "I'm proud of you," she whispered. James smiled, feeling a profound sense of purpose. In that moment, he understood. Courage is not about fighting alone. It's about protecting those who cannot defend themselves, even when it means facing someone you once trusted.